Good afternoon, everyone. This is Henry Gamble with SimplerOptions.com, and in tonight's free video, I just wanted to follow up on where we left off yesterday. And I think that this is some of the most beneficial analysis that you can give, especially from a beginning trader standpoint, because this was always the thing for me, is when I started learning from John, I would hear a specific idea or I would hear a thought behind a given trade, and then you go to jump into it the next day and it goes immediately against you, and it's like, okay, what's the deal? Like, I thought this was the guaranteed trade, and the bonds are the perfect place to talk about this. So yesterday I was looking at it, and I think the thing you want to remember here is that anytime you have such a sharp move in any given direction, the retracement of that move can be just that much more drastic. So if you look at it here in the 10-year notes, of course you can see that we could have a pretty healthy pullback and still be well within the uptrend. But the thing you want to remember in the back of your mind is if you come back into the weekly charts, notice that this squeeze has just fired long. So the bigger the time frame, the bigger the potential retracement, but that doesn't mean that anything about the overall idea has changed. When we were looking at this yesterday through TLT, we spoke about looking at it and saying, okay, you've got a daily zone of support, but remember there are zones that are broken all the time. The whole idea behind having a zone of support or resistance is that you have an area that you're willing to place a bet against if it triggers. Now when we come down and take a look at the 39-minute chart, where we left this off yesterday, you'll notice that here, let me switch this chart. So looking at this setup, you'll look at it and say, not only did the initial zone of daily support that we quoted during yesterday's video not hold, but you never triggered. And that's one of the most important parts of trading, that it will help you so much, is to have an idea but allow yourself to take a trigger into that idea. It'll save you so much money from situations where you may have the right idea but you're trying to get the timing right. So as we close today's session, of course the 39-minute chart basically groups this into 10 even bars that divides the 390-minute cash session. Given the fact that this signal has closed and is suggesting a short signal, we could see a little bit more pressure in TLT or the bond market in general. Does that make this a bearish trade? Absolutely not. If you are skilled and you have been doing this for a long time, can you try and play the reversion to the mean? Absolutely. But if you want to keep your life simple and you want to focus on, playing with the trends, playing what would is quote unquote the easiest moves, then in these situations you want to be with the trend, buying pullbacks into support, and I will not be interested in buying TLT until that 39-minute squeeze that has fired short starts to subside. So I hope you guys find that helpful. It's always nice when you have something that you can talk about one day and follow up with it on the next, because that makes it easy to get a workflow going. A couple other things that I wanted to mention here really quick is that tomorrow night we will be having a webinar with Bruce. Now this is not related to the analysis that I shared, but this is essentially just something very different that Bruce does. For those of you that are familiar with Bruce, obviously a very experienced options trader, especially in this field of trading options for income. You can see the bullet points here that are going to give you an idea of what he's going to focus on. And, here more and more, I kind of find that Bruce is almost like another John for me, where it's like anytime I get to listen to him, even if it's maybe a similar topic, it's the way that he expresses ideas and the other things that I always pick up something that is worth learning. So like I said, go ahead and sign up for that if you'd like to check it out. Tomorrow's webinar is completely free if you'd like to sign up and check it out, and I hope to see you guys there.